joining me in the booth today is...
This is Andy Werner. I'm with McDermott Q.
Andy, good to have you here today.
It is great to be here. A lot of fun happening here. A lot of great shots.
Yeah, I see you got a booth over there.
Yeah, we've actually come out today. We're sponsoring the event, and we wanted to just show our support by being out here. Got a few new products that are coming out. Our new H series, and just wanted to
H series. What is that?
Well, the H series is it's a way that for those players who want that perfect balanced cue.
Oh, is that the one with the movable weight system in it?
Yeah, the weight system, instead of our traditional system where you take out the weight bolt and you load up weight on the end.
Yep.
This could make a little bit different balance, give you a little bit heavier back end or a little lighter back end. This allows the player to put that weight wherever they need it. So,
and if you want to play with a mid extension or something,
exactly,
that'll throw the balance off on a stick.
Yeah, and anytime you want to put some heavier weight or lighter weight, you can put it to where you want. You want to match a similar balance point to another cue, you can.
Oh, okay, sure.
It's all for that player who wants that ultimate feel.
Okay.
And you can pair that with any of our shafts, with our G-Core, the I2 or 3, the new I-Pro. And the I-Pro has taken off very well. The I-Pro, especially the I-Pro Slim.
I live up north around the Rhinelander area, and a lot of the guys up there are, I think there's 2 or 3 guys that have taken the leap for the I-Pro shafts. I personally have a lot of trouble spending that kind of money, but that's me.
It gives that player who wants more precision. Where they aim for that shot, it is going to go there. Yep. It's going to give you a little more accurate, the most radial consistent shaft that we make. So it's going to be a little lower deflection than or a lot lower deflection than you're used to seeing.
Sure.
And it's really going to give you a lot more English if you needed it. Okay. The whole point is give you more English with less effort, so you don't have to go as far off center.
Sure.
Going to again make you more accurate. Don't have to hit it nearly as hard. The big thing is let the McDermott work for you. That's the point.
All right. I know those guys will keep beating my butt all the time with their new sticks. I'm old school. I do shoot with a 40-some-year-old Jimmy stick that he made out of his garage.
Oh yeah.
I had it rebuilt by a local maker up by me, and I have any number of other McDermotts. I've pretty much always done it. I've never had a liking, and I'm not bashing any cue manufacturer, but I've never had a liking for Vikings. They make some good-looking cues, but for playability, I just never happen to like them. So.
Well, here's the thing: whether it be, we got a great Wisconsin heritage of cue makers.
God, yes.
We have Vikings, Sean, P-Shower, Jacoby. I'm missing so many.
Yep.
And I tell anybody, whether you like outside of Wisconsin, Predator, OB.
Sure.
But I will tell you is, people say I'm a McDermott person, I'm a Viking, I'm a Predator. I tell anybody, try it. If you like how it feels, if you feel comfortable hitting it, you are going to be a better shooter.
Oh, absolutely.
You're going to be a better player because you have the confidence in it, and that's why we came out with several different types of shafts from our traditional maple, which I have had somebody who bought our quote-unquote most expensive production cue. Comes with a quick release joint. It came with our I2 shaft, and the gentleman said, I want it with a wood-to-wood. That's what Jim made. That's how it should be, I've always played. I don't want the I shaft. I want a traditional maple shaft turned down to, I can't remember his diameter, but he knew how that played.
Yep.
And when we make cues to be played, don't get me wrong, all the collectors out there, please collect them as much as you like, but you know what? Jim made cues to be played, and we continue that tradition. Absolutely. We make cues for every player,
every level,
every level.
Price points, and it's always interesting. You take a look at some of the. I know a couple of your imports now. They're not full. I've got a full splice.
Right.
Which do you guys make any more full splices?
No,
I didn't think so.
Yeah, now we make we're using the tri-core butt where it has the 3 pieces: the forearm, the handle, and the sleeve. Again, so we can make them in a manufacturing environment. But we can also make them as the customer wants.
Sure.
If you like what's in the catalog, or if you want to, for lack of a term, design your own, change inlays, things like that, we give you that option.
All right.
But you know what? it gives players, like everyone here has a different taste in what it should look like.
Oh, absolutely.
And also, like you said, price point. Yeah, we have the McDermott's made here in Menominee Falls that, as a price point, some may be able to be may not be for everybody, but you know what? We have the import lines that, while McDermott does not make those,
right?
Those are products that we distribute, and we'll feel confident in making those because there are some home users that need it, beginners. The Star line, I have a number of players here today that are utilizing those.
Sure. They're great. Yeah. I was just talking about it earlier with Brian. To get into the game of pool, some of the youngsters, you see all those fancy cues and stuff like that, and it's like, if you buy from a good manufacturer, $50-$60, you're in the game.
Exactly.
You can play the game, and when you get a little better and you want a little something different, maybe borrow somebody else's cue, learn what it does, and there's differences. I mean, I've got some guys. I'm a hard rock maple kind of guy. Matter of fact, in my pool bag, I have one of the original shafts that Jimmy turned, and it still rolls true today. And I'm old school on that.
Oh, yeah.
I do like it. So, but you get the newer shafts, you want to try them low deflection. I got a Lucchese low deflection shaft. Plays good. I ended up not liking it good enough to keep it, so I gave it to my son. But again, it's the hit, like you said, hit, play in the game.
And what's really nice is we have some great dealers around, not only Wisconsin, but around the country. Rhinelander, we have the pool people. Here in southeastern Wisconsin, the Milwaukee area, we have Game Room Gear up in Slinger. We have Master Z's out in Waukesha. Mm-hmm. And these people are great. They have our samples. They have our demo units. Matter of fact, we have some here today. I actually have one of our players trying out a brake stick as we speak. And this gives every player the opportunity. Not all dealers have it. Please call the dealer and ask ahead of time and see if they have something for you to try.
Sure.
And
which one?
And what's great is you're going to give everybody an opportunity to play with what they want. Yeah. Matter of fact, speaking of brakes, we got one come up here on our TV table. See what he's got.
Sneaky Pete.
Yeah. But he's also got good brake. Not a lot made on the shot here.
Well,
give an opportunity for him.
I was going to say, you put it in the center table where it's supposed to be.
Yep, it's right where it's supposed to be.
So you got a little schnicker shot on it, though.
I say might not have a real good shot on the one there, but at least he can kind of move it around where he needs it to go.
A little kick shot at it, he should be good to go.
Yeah, but you know what? It's great to be here. It's great to see all the cues that people have. Obviously, being here in Menominee Falls, where a lot of people came up to me to show me their cues.
Sure.
D series, more recent, the G series.
Did you say B?
D. I haven't seen any B series here.
That was my first McDermott. Was a B3.
Really?
I somehow it got away from me. And I found somebody online who has them, but he wants $600 for it.
Oh, yes.
But I want a player. I've always wanted players. A couple guys told me not to rebuild the full splice. I says, I want to play with it,
Exactly.
But I did find a guy in the middle of the state. I was in an old mini tournament, Scotch double tournament or something like that. And what did I see leaning on the bar? It was a B3. I'm like, I offered him $400 for it right on the spot because I would have took it.
Oh, and you know what? Again, whether you're a collector, a player, or just someone who enjoys playing the game, and you just have that first cue you have, it's great to all of a sudden just walk up and that's cool. I had one of those. I seen one of those.
Yeah.
So many people said, this cue I had here, I bought this from Jim when he was in his garage making these, and I remember when. And now with the current staff there, we still make unbelievable quality cues. We have so many people who come in and they say, our import cues, you guys are making over. They said. Then they come in and some people have taken a tour and they go through our warehouse and they see, like I said, the Lucky and the Star model, which again, very good cues, but not necessarily on the level of the McDermott's. Yeah. And then they walk into the manufacturing environment and they see people, not just machines. You don't put a cue, and this goes for all of our great cue makers. You don't put a piece of wood in a CNC machine and out pops a cue.
Right.
There are people with hands gluing things together, screwing things together, painting, cutting inlays, working CNC machines, working lathes, working sanding, and then they get to that. They see that final table where they're rolling them, and they're adjusting every little thing, adjusting the facing on the joint, and at anywhere along that line, one of our staff can go, not perfect.
Okay.
Comes off.
How it goes.
And that's the other thing that they're amazed. One, they see all these beautiful cues being made. The next thing is they see all the stuff we reject. And they're like, well, what do you do with that?
I got to ask the $1 million question. Yeah, what happens to them?
Well, most of them are firewood.
Okay. Toothpicks?
Exactly.
Firewood, whatever?
There's some, we don't sell the blemished ones out to our dealers.
Sure.
Because dealers want the perfect McDermott. We do go to a couple tournaments a year where we will sell that B stock. Also, we have a number of one-of-a-kinds we've made for advertisements or custom cues that we needed to didn't turn out exactly how we planned it. They're perfectly good cues. They're just not how the customer expected.
Sure.
As far as color or design, but we sell some of those at our store.
Sure.
Up in Menominee Falls.
Okay.
But generally, what you're going to find out there are the cues that they come out perfect. That's what you're going to find at the dealer. We don't send those B stock out anywhere, and we let people know if all of a sudden you have something out there, it's known ahead of time. And again, you only can buy those one place. You can buy those through McDermott, but they're not out there for general. So we don't have a ton of these.
Sure.
But because, as I said, most of those, they come out to be scrap. I hate to say it. There's a lot of great wood in Wisconsin that's not being used as intended. But yeah.
Well, I got to ask $1 million question. If I wanted to make a custom cue, and I either contacted you online or came into your shop, how long would it take, or what would be my expectation before I could get a finished, I'm going to go play tonight?
Well, it depends on the cue.
Okay.
Depends on amount of inlays.
Let's say I got $700 to spend.
$700 to spend. You can see anywhere from, if you look in our catalog, from our G200 to our G400. G400,
well, you're
500
going to tell
series.
me to buy a pre-manufactured one then?
No, hang on a second.
Okay.
And you're going to see some different designs. And there's a lot of people in there that'll take some of those designs off one cue, put it on another.
Oh, okay.
But you know what? I like that. I like this color inlay versus this one.
Sure.
This ring set versus this ring set. I like this. And they literally will take different aspects of many different cues.
All right.
And then put it together. Okay, so now we find something within your price point. And then all of a sudden now it's like, okay, now we're going to make it. But we say first, we got to get you a mock-up. We want you to kind of see it. It's a computer-generated mock-up, but it's usually fairly close.
Okay.
And from there, it can take anywhere between 6, 8, really, really intricate ones, maybe 10 weeks. Because there are some.
That's all? I was thinking you were going to say months.
No, well, that is a couple months. And the thing that goes along with it, just to let you know, we also do have some of our gallery cues, like one-of-a-kinds. Like we have cues that start at, the import's $50, but of the McDermott's made here, those start at $230.
Speaking of McDermott's made here, I have one just like that in my case.
Actually, like what he has in there, I think that's a G225.
I don't remember what. I could never find it online. I could never go chase it.
Nope, that's a little bit older. I know which one. I've seen that one a few times. Matter of fact, actually, he and I were talking before.
Oh.
He stops in our store a few times every once in a while to find what's new on that B rack. But we have some cues that go up to. Everybody knows about the $100,000+ one that was out there.
Yeah.
But we have some cues that go for $6,500.
Sure.
But again, these are all, now that's like a one-off. No one ever is going to make that again.
Yep.
But even the custom cues, again, they're one-off to you.
Yeah.
They might have some similar designs to the ones that are in the catalog because you're using some of those different designs. But the inlays, the materials are different. The rings are different. They are yours. Going to be a little bit more costly. I'm not going to kid anybody. But it's going to give you an opportunity where you walk in, someone's going to go, hey, where'd you get that? McDermott. Yep. I didn't know they had that in the catalog.
Exactly.
They don't.
It's kind of funny that you say that because Michelle was just saying, well, maybe I talked to the rep and see about having a cue made or something, like a custom cue. And she says, what do you think that? I said, I have no clue how long it would take or what would be involved in it. I'm assuming you have an idea, start there, and show up and make it.
And some are very simple. We have a lot of people will take our 200, our G200 line, and they like that. They want to make it theirs. All they want is they want a purple cue. Well, you know what? Yeah. We can stain it purple. It doesn't. In a lot of cases, there's little to no extra cost for that for just changing colors.
Sure.
Someone says, "Well, I like these, but I like leather," or "I want a no wrap," and all this is possible. All you got to do is ask.
Yeah.
And with the dealers that are out there, we have a lot of dealers who are don't want to say they're more knowledgeable or not. It's just some have done more of those.
Sure.
But always, ask your local dealer. Make sure that you're utilizing that local professional.
Yep.
These guys know our products. Matter of fact, Larry, who you just saw play in the last TV table, he knows our products very well. These are our local players who really do have an understanding of what we can do and an understanding of what's possible. And he plays with matter of fact, speaking of some previous years' cues, previous decades' cues, he's got one there himself. And it's wonderful again to see all the different cues that are out there, all the players that are playing with, not just ours, but
Sure.
quality products, and also this game also starting to, I don't want to say rebound a little bit, but I see more and more people coming back to this game because it's not.
It's shed its old image.
It's not the smoky dark dank, the sting or the color of money type place. And here in Wisconsin, got a ways to go, but I take care of generally the eastern U.S.
Okay.
And matter of fact, I was out to a couple places in New Jersey and New York and found some great entertainment complexes that, they're bringing back junior leagues. They're bringing back.
That is great.
Getting the kids, and there's not a parent in there that doesn't that feels uncomfortable about taking their kids to a pool hall.
Yeah, those days of days gone by, I guess. Hustler movie image, and again, maybe e-cigarettes are doing the billiard business good.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's the Hustler. That's the sting a minute ago. Good gosh.
Sorry.
That's it. Watching too much Netflix recently.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, we've done. It's great. We sponsor a couple. Not necessarily sponsor. We help a couple youth teams out when they go to some different tournaments.
Oh, okay.
We help with their shirts. It was a group that said, we really want to bring. We want to bring our youth leagues back, our youth participation, and they said, just for this year, would you mind? These kids have been out there. We've been using the same shirts forever. We just got T-shirts, and I said we're not asking for much. We helped them out just a little bit, just to get the kids involved. Well, that was 3 years ago. Well, that group went from bringing. I think they had 6 kids go to the Super Billiard Expo tournament, the Super Billiard Expo, the tournament out east, and to bringing 10. And actually, one of their juniors is one of our ambassadors. He's a great kid, Charlie Marshall, and he is not only an ambassador just for our kids, but for the sport. He's a young kid. He started out, I think, when we worked with him when he was starting at 11, and this 11-year-old at the time was going and showing 12, 13-year-old other youth how to play the game.
Oh, okay.
And he was very active, and just this summer, our owner, when we were at the Billiard Congress of America, their convention and expo, there was another youth tournament, the BEF tournament, and this one junior just was, they had the player day where they got to come and try out all the new cues and all this stuff. This little kid came here. I think he ran 9 racks. He wanted to try the new iPro, and he strike that. He missed. He had one miss, and the owner just happened to be sitting there going, "Who is that kid?" And the vice president manufacturer goes, "Oh, he's probably sponsored by so and so or so and so." I looked over at him and I knew I knew the family, and I said,
knew the story.
Yeah, I said, "No, he just." And they're like, "Really?" I said, "Yeah, you want to talk to him?" He's like, "Sure." We were not planning on doing any more youth ambassadors or anything this year.
Yeah.
Great story. Sam Henderson, good kid. Sam, if you're out there watching,
He may listen. I don't know.
He's in Iowa, but I don't know about that. But Sam, I don't know where else. The owner goes, can we talk to him? I said, me and the rep who handles Iowa and Illinois, or Illinois. And I'm like, okay, hang on a second. We both chased him down. Said, hey, the owner wants to talk to you. He's like, what? Really? Come here with us. The owner wants to talk to you. And Danielle told the parents what was going on. The parents almost fell over. And I'm walking with Sam, and the owner looks at him and says, hey, you're pretty good. You want to play with some McDermott cues? He's like, well, sure. Really? Seriously? Yeah. So we gave him all his McDermott. So he said, we don't want you to play with your normal cue. Don't change in your tournament. He was actually going to go. He had to play the next day in a semifinal.
Sure.
And his dad comes running back, says, he wants to play with the cue. I said, well, okay, we were literally packing up because the expo was over.
Sure.
Are you sure? Like, you want to play with a brand new cue you've only played? Well, he played 9 racks with.
Oh, okay.
Well, he won his semifinal match.
Cool.
Went into the finals and raced to 2, and he had a double dip though.
Oh,
and
okay.
he went in there and he and the kid's like he came literally a 9-ball rattling a 9-ball short.
Oh no.
And he looked at me. I just looked at him and I said, remember rule number 1? We had a couple talks. I said rule number 1, especially for you, have fun.
Yeah.
I said,
enjoy the game.
I said, did you have fun? He's like, yeah. I said, you going to come back and play? He said, well, yeah. I said, that's all we ask.
Yep.
And he gave us the cue back, and then eventually we got one built specifically for him.
Oh,
but
yeah.
it's not like we're going to go out and find out all the kids, and we'd love to give every person a new cue, but not always possible.
Oh, absolutely.
But you know what? It proves one point is McDermott, we can make a cue for just about any person.
Oh, absolutely, and that is still good to hear, because from a rack type manufacturer to the smaller guys who put maybe 4 cues out a year, getting fair money. And some of them are not real expensive, but yet you guys are saying you're as competitive as you can be. Good God, there's another stick just like mine. Right over there. The two identicals. Oh, ain't that crazy?
It's funny how often you see that, and
I've never seen another cue like mine as long as I've had it. That brown one. Anyway, long story short, enough about that.
Oh yeah.
Our match is going on here. We got a tie ball game, 1-1, and this is what we got, a 444 against a 534. 3-game spot. Okay. Well, how do you like the handicaps? Personally, not as a McDermott rep.
The handicaps as far as talking about setup, or are we talking about who the handicap levels we have here?
Either or both.
Well, realistically, the handicap levels that we got here, it's really kind of nice because we got a good cross section here. I mean, don't get me wrong. We don't have any literally ones, not 100s, ones.
Yeah.
But there's a tournament like this allows for that. Now, everybody has their different views on what handicaps should be, could be, how to do them. I am not going to go down that rabbit hole.
Okay, yeah, that's true. But that's the industry is going through that turmoil right now and I made a post the other day and cut you off about how the industry really is all about mathematics.
Oh yes.
There's only so many players, and now with everybody doing iPhone streaming and this, that, and the other thing, a local guy can set up a tournament, 4.5, 5.5 under, play anything he wants to do, no 3-foul, whatever, just to do a tournament to satisfy his local crowd. So it's tough to have bigger tournaments like this and find them matched, because if you're used to playing locally, and you'll probably play on a bar table, a valley in good condition, bad condition, whatever. But then you come to these things, and it's like you're absolutely correct. I'm a 380 player, 400 player. I got no game, but I love the game.
Oh, exactly.
And but I come and I watch these guys. I look at Larry and some of these other players, even Nichols, and I say everybody has a shot. But I don't forget where I was going. But the handicappers, I guess I like the handicappers, but I'm the person that's usually getting the handicap, not having to give it up. So,
and that's the hard part. I mean, it's funny working in the different areas we do of different countries, the different reps with McDermott. We run across APA, BCA, TAP, VNEA, local, ASE. Everybody's trying to do it. Is one, gargantuanly better than the other? They're just different ways of doing it. Different people have different thoughts on it. And you know what? I'd love to say, okay, hey, we need to have one, just it would all make the world go round. But you know what? As long as people find entertainment value and enjoy doing what they enjoy playing in the league,
love the game.
As long as they feel their game is being treated fair, great. You know what? That brings people to these events. That brings people to, and you know what? It's kind of, I was talking to a number of people here. It's not, some of these are not just guys or the girls playing. There are husbands and wives or husbands and girlfriends here. This game, events like this, although, being sitting behind an 8-ball, looking at your, not being able to see the 7 may not make it for the best tournament for that particular player at the moment.
In the moment.
But you know what? These are the moments where all of a sudden you're going to walk out and say, "Hun, remember? I was stuck behind the 7-ball," and that person, your up significant other is going to go, "Yeah, you should have done this." Granted, that might start a small domestic dispute, but that's a whole other story.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you can talk about it. You can talk like, it's not. This allows for everybody to have an enjoyment of the game. Okay.
And/or participation.
Exactly.
I mean, it's easy enough to ask the missus to come out for a date night. Go have a couple of beers at the local pub and have a couple of games of pool. No sweat. You're not out $500,000.
No, and that's what's nice about pool. I mean, whether you're playing with a house cue or you have your own, so you can say, "Hey, I'm walking in with mine."
Yeah.
And
so you're the hustler.
Oh, good Lord.
I'm just kidding.
Back 20 years ago, I might be able to say that to a certain degree, but I get more hustled than anything else nowadays.
It's okay. Bucking a beer, who cares?
Unless you're playing with some of the people I do. But that's a whole other story.
Yeah.
But now we got an interesting shot here. Does he put it inside, or is he going to?
I would think did he do a safety, or does he do the bank? It's a little wide on the bank, but doable. But I don't know what your reward would be back down where you are almost.
Yeah, because if you can put it back there, you get another shot at the 8.
Yep. Welcome to the game, the thinking part of the game.
And a lot of people forget that what goes into this.
Oh yeah, he's going safety.
He's going to snug it up. Pretty close.
Leave him long on the rail over a ball.
Yeah, well, he's got. Again, this is where it takes the moment or two where all of a sudden you got to think about the shot. It is not just about stand up, hit the ball, pocket, and see where it lands.
Yep.
And this again shows you your different levels of player. You have the level of player that can put it in safe.
Yep.
That can play a safety shot. Then you got the next level of player that can get out of a safety shot.
Oh God,
safety position.
Yep.
And then there's also the safety by accident, which is how I play.
Yeah, I'm in.
That's how I play. Fully admit it.
I am in. Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's tough. And then I watch Larry and I see that shot and I say, yeah, with the cue ball control that he has, he probably would have done almost the same thing except park the cue right behind the 8-ball.
Exactly.
Played the safe exactly. Here we would have made the shot and whatever. But yeah, it is a great, great game. My dad was a draftsman by design. I said this earlier for anybody who's listening. Too bad you get stories a couple times. He worked at Alice Chalmers for 50 years or whatever. And actually, he's the one that left the old McDermott cue in his trailer over in Summers, California.
Oh.
And that's why everything let loose, all the joints and everything just let loose.
So that at that point, that's where it explodes. It explodes
Almost.
all the veneers and.
It was a full splice. It still is, but
okay.
And just everything let loose. No, I had to rebuild.
Okay.
I got to rebuild. I'm playing with it today, and funny because the nuance of the game. I play him once a year when I'd see him or something like that, And he kicked my butt just because he had the natural ability to see the angles that I thought I could see. But there's when you combine the natural ability with good equipment, you got a good player. I got to ask, what are some of the guys on you play? You do East Coast?
Yeah, I take care a lot of the East Coast of the U.S.
What are the? Who is that? Who's got it? That would be Ryan.
Ryan got it. Brunner.
You better, you know mine.
Ryan just happens to come into the store a few times every once in a while.
Gotcha. Well, that's good. Sell them a few cues.
Way to go, Ryan.
Oh, don't be my favorites now.
No, not favorites. Just you got to cheer for everybody.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's for a good shot. Sometimes it's just for gosh darn luck.
What are the good players out in the East Coast play with? Is McDermott out there, or they got another lover out there?
No, it is, and you actually see on the East Coast, especially like mid-East Coast, when you get into like Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, you see a lot of Mucci. Yeah, you go up north, you see quite a bit of Predators out there. A lot. You see McDermott actually coming back because we have more people carrying it out there and actually involving themselves a little bit more. I actually did last 2 years. I've actually went out there and did a little bit of I don't want to say not just a sales trip, but I actually went out and what I called them demo nights, where I showed up and told the dealers, okay, hey, we're here. I'm going to bring a whole load of cues. If you want to sell them, go ahead. But that way I could talk to the players. And I stopped at one. Now, this wasn't a demo night. I just brought my stuff, though, so people could be there. We've got one of our ambassadors, George Rodriguez, who's out of New York. And he runs a tournament out of Steinway.
Oh, okay.
And Steinway is... you see everybody out there with Predator, McDermott's, custom cues. And what was amazing is to talk with people to see how they viewed not only McDermott, but just about any cue. And what really was telling is finding out what are players looking for today.
Okay. Well, and with following that, you can stop there and tell us, what are they looking for today?
Everybody says everything from, some people say, well, it's got to be low deflection. And then one of the first questions you ask is, well, how are you measuring that? And it's funny how many faces go, well, it's low deflection. And then there's the people who actually will test it. And then there are the people who say, you know what, I just want one that feels good. And then I have some people, it's got to look good because I can put whatever shaft I want on it. And the other thing is, I play what I played with, much like a lot of the crowd here, I played what I played with 30 years ago. It's the same cue. It's a McDermott. But the big thing that people have been looking for is that radial consistent, that lower deflection shaft. And one of the reasons why we came out with the iPro is it gives people that, and also still with that classic feel of a shaft. Not only wood feel in your hand, but also that solid feel. Especially if you put it like with a wood-to-wood joint, you can do it with any type of joint or any type of cue that you want. And that's what was amazing is I saw Predator shafts on McDermott butts. I saw McDermott eye shafts on anything from like a Viking butt or an import or some cues I've never even heard of.
Sportcraft.
One gentleman says, "Hey, I got this from while I was in the Philippines."
Okay.
And I'm like, "What is it?" He's like, "No idea."
Yeah.
And he goes, "It just looked really cool." And I'm like, "Okay." And I said, "Well, what shaft you got?" He said, it was a McDermott. I believe that one was a McDermott G-Core. And what's funny is I asked him, well, I said, "Oh, when did you get this?" He goes, "Oh, I got to pick up the shaft last week." I go, "Why'd you pick that?" And again, his reasoning was, it felt the best.
He did what?
It felt the best.
Oh, okay.
He said, "I hit it. It felt it was just like the hit I've always had." And the reason he got a different shaft because he wanted to try something different, and he found out that it worked exactly how he expected.
Oh, okay. Well.
But it's again a lot of things that you can find out east or west coast. The one thing I found out by going to and visiting these people is what a lot of people expect and a lot of preconceived ideas. A lot of people still think McDermott, they've been around forever. They're the same stick my dad had, 40 years ago when Jim was building them.
Sure.
I'm like, this isn't your same McDermott. Yes, we still make those. We still make them so they can feel that way.
Yep.
But the one thing that is different nowadays. Oh, we got a nice shot coming up here. This ought to be interesting if you can catch it. Let's see if you can get up and over on this one. It's got a shot, but I'm going to see where this lands. got a lot of thinking on where it's going to go on this one. Not quite where he wanted it.
Good swing.
Yeah, couldn't get it up. Couldn't get it long on it. Got it up. Couldn't get it long on it. Being close to the rail, I think it was just couldn't get his hand position where he wanted it. But back to the McDermott. A lot of people have the perception of McDermott. It's the same old, same old. Well, you know what? With what we have out there, between the iPro shafts, between the new H series cues, and just being able to give a cue that can be set up with just about anybody, we're good.
I'm sorry, who was that?
That was Brunner again. Actually, both these guys have been in and out of our place a few times. But yeah. This is but again, long established traditions of people say, oh, it's the same old McDermott. We may not be as flashy. We're not going to kid anybody. We're not going to go out there and come out and say, we believe we are the best. We believe we make some of the best products out there. But we ask you, go out and try them.
Oh, absolutely. That's like anything. From outboard motors to vehicles. Take it for a test drive.
Okay, don't get me on outboard motors. We've got. I went from always fixing one to finally having my one that actually works really easy. So.
Oh, okay.
That's a whole other story.
Good. That's good though.
But you know what? I get just like anything.
Yep.
Find something you like.
Yeah.
And you know what? Find some people you like. Go out and find a table.
Have a good time. Absolutely, it's a social game. It really is.
And that's what's going to bring this sport back. We've seen it in other sports. You look at bowling, darts, any of the what some people call leisure sports. Stuff that you can do. You don't have to have a specific ability level. You can go out and enjoy and have fun.
As long as you can be semi-competitive to a certain degree.
Yes.
My lovely bride decided to stop playing for a while because I don't know if one year we played that was our date night. We go out and play in our couples league.
You started a domestic dispute, didn't you?
No, I did not. Not at all, because I love it. It's my night out. It's a date night. But I don't think she won a game all season, and she did not cotton to that because she's a competitive person. So we'll leave it right there. I'd love her to come back and play. I'd like another date night. It's all good.
Again, if you're out there listening, if you got someone who doesn't play, okay, one, be kind to them, maybe let them win once in a while. Unlike you. But you know what?
No, it wasn't me. She was my partner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just thought you just kept beating her because you didn't like her or something like that.
No, God, no.
No, but go out there and find some place. Get out there. It's an opportunity to be with some people. Maybe find another couple. Maybe just find a couple friends. There are plenty of games out there. Whether it's just playing some doubles. There's games out there.
Bar rules, whatever.
Sure. Playing a game of cutthroat. However you want to write the rules, it gives.
Bags open.
Oh, that's Rick doesn't listen at all.
That's right. He'll be losing his.
No, he'll be losing. He'll be back. He'll be back in on Monday.
Where'd he go?
He'll be back in on Monday, missing something. That's for sure. But you know what? I'm coming to these tournaments tonight. Like I said, I got going and visiting some of these dealers, going there on league nights and visiting, and seeing what people not just play with, but with the enthusiasm they play with. Don't get me wrong. There's some ultra competitive places. Great. I was talking to another gentleman who's not playing in this tournament, but he goes and plays weekend tournaments where you have 16 people.
Yeah.
You know what? Just one gentleman who comes in our store a lot, and Mr. Wild. If you're out there, it's Andy and McDermott. Hey, how are you? But he comes in. He goes and plays some of these. Some of them are like $10 buy-ins, but it's not. I think that just pays for the table for the night. They're out there. It's basically I think they win a bar tab. It's just all it is. It's 8 to 16. I think it's 8 or 12 players, and all they're doing is just to have fun. And they've got some regulars, and then they said they rotate a couple different bars. There's like 3 of them that do it.
Yeah.
Just to have people come in and have a good evening.
Yep.
Give them a little bit of a challenge. Someone comes in, they bring their cheering section of 2 or 3 people.
Sure.
And that's what. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's good money tournaments out there, but there's also some good ones to just have fun with. And again, go find those places. Go find a place to bring yourself back to and do what you want.
And I'll say from up in the Northwoods, we have seems like every once in a while there's somebody comes down that's sick, and the first thing they do is run benefits, pool little mini tours and mini tournaments and stuff.
Well, you're up at Rhinelander. Obviously, the pool people involved a lot with that. But also there's a place like Judy's Twin Pines. Well, not Judy's Twin Pines, Twin Pines on Sea. Yep. And pretty scary that I know that, huh?
No.
But yeah.
And you know Gary Voska and the rest of the boys up there.
I know a few people. We've gone there. All the Rhinelander folks, that has been the vacation haven for many a Wisconsinite for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
But you see who they have run these tournaments, run these benefits. Matter of fact, my neighbor recently, who
nice save,
well played. I wasn't sure if that three ball is going to stop or keep rolling for a little bit.
Yeah.
But they. One of our neighbors, it just so happened that they ran a benefit at the local VSW, and Judy, she's going through a second bout with cancer.
Yeah.
And we do. I work with McDermott. They do a lot of pool. Obviously, I'm going to try to help out a little bit.
Sure.
And but again, pool benefit. That's what they play.
Yeah.
Pool players really will help out.
They come out being dwarfed and drones.
And you know what? Doesn't matter if you guys have been if those people have been the biggest competitors of each other, basically the light and the dark side, if you'd like to use a Star Wars reference.
Sure.
But you know what? When the chips are down, they all come together.
They all do. Yep, they do. Yeah, you want to have a tournament. Find a cause. Matter of fact, I'd even asked Craig when I talked to him. I says, "Did Jim have any favorite charities? He said, I thought maybe have a little paddle wheel or something going on. Donate a little money. Not that they're not full here and it's not a great event here, but there's always one way to help promote the game is to find a little charity to give. We got a couple of Toys for Tots thing going on up there coming up.
Sure.
We got one of the bar owners is pretty well. He's got a tough roundabout with cancer, and there's always something going on. Little mini tournament. So. They're right.
And with McDermott, it's being not only a national but international company in the aspect that we ship worldwide. We don't.
Sure.
We'd love to do every benefit that we can, and oh my gosh, we get inundated. But you know what? We're so lucky that a lot of these, when it comes to a local, someone local has cancer, we can't sit there and dive in every single one. But you know what? We try to get our local dealers involved and see if they're available to help out. And we've had, again, hats off to our dealer network. Yep. Our dealers put so much in, and they'll sponsor maybe a small tournament. And then we'll say, hey, they'll ask us, hey, can you help out a little bit with this tournament or that tournament? And we do our best to do as many as we can. But if we can't, or just sheer numbers, we'll try to get our local dealers involved. Because you know what, they're the ones who have the stake in it. They're the ones who know the community, and you know what, they really do care.
Oh yeah.
And just as like they care for the people that they sell cues to. These guys, not only they care about pool and their community, they know, and they actually know how to put on they know how to put on a good event.
Yeah.
So, and that's the hard part from doing it from afar.
Exactly. You got to have local feet on the ground. Anything you do, got to have feet on the ground, ready to go out there and get her done.
We've been talking through this. This guy, he's got this pretty well set up. If you can get this down the table just a little bit, I think he's left him enough room to kind of park it and have a good shot at the 7, which will set him
That's
just
got
up
a good
for the
angle.
9.
Yeah. Tables are rolling good.
I've talked to everybody was pretty happy with the tables. I mean, I haven't heard a negative thing. Folks here at Sussex
was through clean or recovering a bunch of them, or not most, or not all of them.
Yep. In Bears, like, tables are fast, cushions are fast. Nothing overly to complain about.
Maybe except for this league.
Speaking of fast, here we go.
There you go.
They're speaking of fast. That was the one thing. Again, that's not necessarily a complaint. That's just hey,
the way it is. Nature of the beast.
As you'd mentioned before, sometimes you're used to playing in a bar where it's pitted. You hit a shot, nice roll shot, and all it does is it looks like you're dribbling a pool ball down there. But again, Let's see where you can put this. Ooh.
No, on the rail.
Now this is interesting.
I'm gonna have to call somebody and watch the hit.
Yeah, this one's where.
Oh, I can see how close we can get here. I don't think it's gonna. I don't think it. You know, when you make that 9 on the bank is if you throw it. That ain't. You ain't get away with that.
Yeah, you're only unless the 7 is not out far enough for you to kiss it off of.
No.
I don't think.
No.
I don't think.
No, I think it's. No.
You got right behind him?
No, I don't. Not enough room. I need 7 more cameras. Oh, wait, we have them.
They're just not here.
That's right. Okay.
He tried to follow it up. Let's see. Nope, it's gonna.
Nope, John. It almost looked like it rolled away.
Yeah.
However, it's good. It's good leave.
Again, safety by accident.
Yeah, that's nice. That's fine in any game. I happen to play. What's your favorite game? What do you like to play?
It's funny that everybody hates doing this, but we always end up with 3 people, so we always end up playing elimination.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just or cutthroat is what we call it.
Sure.
It's just so happens every half the time we're playing we end up with 3 people. But as far as a regular game, I do like 9-ball just because in this day and age of ADD and I can barely hold my attention now for an 8-ball game. Yeah, 9-ball is fun, and also it does. I think it does with the opportunity to just accidentally kiss a 9-ball in.
Yep.
It gives any player an opportunity to just.
It does.
Even if you take the 9 on the snap off on the break off off the table, and you know what, it's a game just about anybody can understand. The rules are pretty simple.
Yeah, they are. I happen to like 10-ball because I like to take that slop shot away from it. Oh, watch this. Oh, I thought he was going to park it.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
I think it's outside. She's got to look at it though.
Yep. I'm thinking he may go. Ooh, I don't know about that.
I love right now
to
jump.
Messy it.
I love to jump out and just look, just to lean down and see.
Yeah.
Is that there? Is that not there?
Get out the laser scope. I think you can mass around the 9 easy enough. And I don't know if you come around far enough, you have a shot of 9, same pocket.
There's another game, one pocket that
I'm just learning that game. That's a nice game.
When I was out east, again, I played a lot more pool when I was 20 years ago, and now again taking the position in McDermott, however many years ago that's been, there's games I'd never heard of, and I learned of one pocket. I saw some gentlemen, what are you guys doing?
Yeah,
and they're like, it's called one pocket. I'm like, okay, and that's another thing that's interesting is to see the different games where they're played. Well, like again, when I was out east, one pocket was actually very predominant. Never heard of it. I mean, I've been in pool halls out here and never heard of it. You see the tournaments. There are so many more 10-ball tournaments out there. So many more.
Yeah, 10's popular out east.
And again, you go. It's funny. You go a little south, and I've talked a lot. They still play. Everybody still plays straight pool everywhere, but. Not
to me, not as much. I don't see it, but I'm
saying
halls,
not in but not in general. But when you go out, when you get down to when I was in like the Carolinas and stuff, they said that
was west.
Yes, that was west. That was west. And they play a lot more straight.
Yeah.
So it just the environment you're in, the people you play with. So
true enough.
This is a great event.
Yep.
Or any type of tournament is a great event to be at. Whatever the rules are, learn it and go play it.
Exactly.
Because it's kind of fun learning a new game. It can be a little tough when you're learning a new game and playing against people who
know
experience
the game.
at it.
Yeah.
But you know what? If you go find a game, not necessarily a tournament, someone's playing it, go play them and say, hey, how the heck do I do this?
Pay for table time if it's a time thing, or even if you get in a competitive match, you can always ask your opponent. Again, there's nothing wrong with that. Most of them will answer you.
Again, it depends on the tournament. If you're in a big tournament, if you get into those bar weekend tournaments where you get again where it's mostly fun, but if you get into some of those bar weekend tournaments where they got 500 of each person's dollars on it, well then it's
a little different game.
Yeah, but again, that's where you just kind of try to find where you're.
That's where you learn. You
learn your level.
You watch and you learn from watching.
Oh yeah, and then you hope someone next to you knows what they're doing.
And ask a question.
Yes.
Yeah, I get it.
And again, that's where most pool players, they're very well. I don't say received. They're very much about saying, hey, you want to know how? Here, I can tell you how to do this.
Sure.
Just don't ask me in the middle of a tournament or the middle of my game.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people I've seen taught how to do a shot. Like they say, how the heck did you do that? You ask them during the game, nothing. After the game, they'll be glad. It's like, oh yeah, here's how to do this.
Yep. And then time on the table.
Okay. Me learning how to jump. Now, luckily, again, I have some people at work that know how to play, and I'm like, I don't know how to jump. I can't. I couldn't do this. The guy, one of the gentlemen I work with, Jamie at McDermott, he actually runs our front end, and Jamie said, I'll get you up in 5 shots.
All right.
I said, all right.
How'd that work out?
3 up. I go side pocket to side pocket. Put the ball I'm jumping over about 8 inches in front of me. Still have still learning the English side of things, but I can.
Well,
I'd say 1 out of 5. I can put the ball into. I can hit my object ball into the side.
All right.
And 3 out of 5, I can get it up and over. And then there's 1 I have no idea where that ball is going. I mean, really, just get out like 10 feet from the table. It's going somewhere that's not good.
Sure.
So, of all the matches so far, what's been any really good shots? I'm sure you've seen a couple by now.
Well, Larry was on the table before this.
I saw her with Bonnie, or him with Bonnie before.
Yeah. How can you not like watching Larry play pool?
Oh, right now it's kind of brutal with him working through his injury.
Right. But there are still. I mean, there's just some brilliant shots. When Brian was here, we were talking, or was it John? I don't remember. But it's like the things he does with the cue ball. I mean, that cue ball control, and that's half the game, I think.
And you know what? You watch, and I don't say if you're smart you'll learn, but if you're, I talk to a lot of people and say, watch this. Mm-hmm. They know what he's going to do
ahead of that. Yeah.
But the thing is, no one else knows how to do it, but they'll say, watch what he's going to do, and it's like, okay, how do you do that? And that's.
No one at an execution are two different things.
Yeah, and that's what's also interesting is you go see someone do that, and now if you got time, you go out on the table and you try to do that. And now this is also where this day and age is really cool. If you don't know how to do something and you want to know how to do it, go on YouTube.
Yeah, exactly.
In this day and age, it is. If you really don't know how to do something, there are plenty of people out there that can. And there's plenty. If you want to learn how to do it well, there's plenty of certified instructors that are out there.
And they're not all that expensive anymore, really.
No. I talked with one of our dealers, Cyberts. There's a Rick Matsky out of Cyberts, and also a number of them, Joel out of Nielsen's, and I've talked with these guys about what they charge to be instructors. It's not astronomical. If you're serious about the game, and you're at that point where you know kind of what you need to do to get better. I'm not saying you're going to walk up and say, "Please teach me the entire game." That's not what I'm talking about. But I'm saying where you know where your game's at, and you kind of plateaued for a moment. Reaching out to these guys, taking a couple lessons, and learning some things about the game are amazing. I mean, I'm not saying these guys gave me free lessons. They've showed me just a few things, saying, "Hey, here's a couple practice things that you know if you want to get better, do this.
Yep.
Showed me a couple videos online on how to. We've had a number of our ambassadors have come up, and whether it be trick shots or general shots. Brian, if you like trick shots, we got a load of them. Brian Pauly's been up there.
Sure.
Dr. Q. In more and more, we're getting Anthony Beeler was in town to give us some.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing that.
Yep, Anthony Beeler give us a number of just some great practice shots. And you know what? If you're out there, and again, you're looking for how do I do this? If I've got object ball sucked up against the rail, and I'm dead straight on it. What do I do so I don't foul?
Yep.
Because it's like, okay, here's what's legal. Here's where if I want to try to play that safety. Here you go.
That was Wes, right?
Yeah, no, that was Ryan. That's Wes.
Sign up. Just had one person sign up, and I'd like to get more people.
So, but we've got a great group out here. Just kind of looking around, not just at the TV table, and saw one of those shots where you went, ooh, how did that not go in?
Yeah.
And then I just saw, and as I said, I just saw another one like, yeah, that was really, it's like, I don't want to say everything. This game is definitely not just about luck, but you know what? There's some things with people to really get. There's some shots out here that again, this is what makes it fun. It makes it for a lot of talks afterwards. Where why did this shot not go in? How did I lose that? How did they win this? This is where. In fishing, that's where they call them fishtails. In a pool hall, it's like everything's plus. Everything is. Did I do well? Well, yeah, but I kind of lucked out on those couple shots.
Oh.
But then on the other side, I lost. He got lucky on this. Well, sometimes they are that good. Sometimes they really aren't. But you know what? That's what you talk about.
Day.
Exactly. That's what you get a chance to talk with each other about afterwards. Going back to that's the fun part, Again, not that playing pool is not fun, but this is also a social game. Yeah, in a tournament, you want to be talking about winning, but after it's over, that's where you're going to have some fun to harass, heckle, but also, relive and replay in your head of what you have. Yeah. And also, the nice part about live streams, some of those you can actually go back and relive.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I find myself watching, a friend of mine owns a billiard channel, and I'm watching even old matches. But you'll watch a good match somewhere, and most of his stuff's on the East Coast, Southeast side of the coast, Johnny Archer's place, a couple other places. But you find a good match or a good player, and you just start looking at him and watching. And the repetition of just even watching, it doesn't match table time, but it sure does put you in the mindset of following what he's going to be doing, which can help you on the table.
Someone told me once is if you follow and you start understanding the game, whereas you can start calling shots of what they're going to do next, not necessarily of how they're going to do it. That means you have the understanding of the game.
Yep.
Now, if you can tell me what's going to happen next and how they're going to do it, that's where you start understanding how to play the game.
Yep.
You understand the game, but then understanding how to play it. And then, again, where does he want to put the ball? Where does she want to put the English on? Where does one of them want to leave the ball in a safety situation? And everybody also knows their strengths too. Mm-hmm. Because again, it's where you put the ball, but also where you want to be next time, and also where you might want to put them so you leave them in the trouble.
Yeah.
Like right now, he's going around it. Again, this table is fairly set up right now.
Pretty well parked them by the corners.
Yep. And then you got the 9 in the middle to kind of move where you want to.
Got 6 pockets when you get there.
The question is now, okay, he's got a comeback table to come back for the 6.
Do 3 around.
Not right. There it goes. There we go.
Hey, you read my mind.
There you go. Now the question is, how straight in is this?
Well, it's not,
I think he's got
enough angle.
He's got enough room.
Yeah, you should have enough on there.
It's one thing. I keep forgetting to look at the TV. That's why we have you here.
Yeah. Well, it depends what camera I got on. You could be looking at all the wrong thing, but there, all 3 of them are right there.
Sometimes you get invested in just looking at just the table. You forget that there's
another angle you can go.
You got another angle.
But if you watch one match, you've kind of seen them all on TV. Pretty much traditional. Good stroke. Good stroke.
Well, like you said, you've seen them all on TV, but that's what's the thing about it is if they were all the same, you never would watch it.
That's true.
You know what to expect. Now the question is, and this is where I've talked to a lot of people when they watch stuff on live stream, is they say, I would have done it this way.
No, boy,
and this is your chance. He can't make that.
Everybody's got their own way of getting to where they want to go.
Exactly.
That's doable. He's going to block my shot. Okay, I got to get that right. I'm not paying attention. That's Wes.
Ryan.
God.
Watch this whole time I've been wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's him.
Oh. Come on. It's supposed to go to 5, not to 4. An American girl.
So now I got to ask you. So now after this tournament, where are you off to next?
I'm going home, going fishing, take the boat out of the water. I'm retired.
Well, I know. What's your next? Do you have any events coming up?
No, we don't. We had talked to John about doing the Hall of Fame thing. I don't know if that didn't happen. I could take off and go do it, but I probably won't. I haven't got a contract with him. So.
I might have to talk to him about that. Okay, there's a good start. Put 3 on the break, but see through.
Yeah, we got no shot on the 1. You're long. Yeah, you got block pocket.
Yep.
Anyways, yeah. Other than that, I'm doing some documentary work, but that's away from the billiard world because I produced television for 38 years. And I love doing documentaries, so we do this long story personal, which doesn't belong here, but I had just found my birth family after 65 years. And I went from the baby of the family to the oldest of the family and 9 brothers and sisters. Yeah, and the story is very long. We're talking about maybe doing a little something. I don't know. We'll see. Another different story, different world.
Yeah, but you know what?
But so other than that, I'm play guitar and play pool and enjoy the good life.
Well, now we just need. Now the scary part is next we see you on guitar on live stream.
No, not happening.
Just kidding.
I quit a long time ago. I haven't picked one up in over a year.
Let's see if
it's fun.
Let's see if Wes can come back here. He's got a number of balls to work with. He's got to move that. He's got to get back around for the 2.
This is 3 long rails to get around on this one if you're going to bank it. And I don't know at this angle if you can do it.
No. The question is, are you going to try to stick that 1? Go reverse.
I'm just gonna. My mentality is play the shot because I'm thinking I can. Well, that was a good swing, but it might not work out so well. Yeah, actually, I'll be out of here tomorrow or Monday sometime. I got pool Tuesday, Thursdays. Other than that, next show comes up. We're fishing. We got a couple of things. We were just talking to Brian about Tyler coming in, and I said, maybe I should just stay down here. But, he's going to do the
Tyler
pool.
Florence?
Yep.
Tyler coming in where at?
Here.
Oh.
Apparently, yeah. He's got like 4 days booked in for the Moscone Cup tutorial or something like that it's called. Whatever. And I just told Brian, I said, well, maybe we should stay, just shoot it and sell some DVDs. But,
Darlin Hogan, Scott Haskins, table 5.
we'll see. Now, I'm talking to some guy the other day. I'm not, like I said, I'm retired-ish. And I know a couple of guys that just shag around all over the country or, Midwest, East Coast, West Coast, doing this stuff. And it's like, nah, them days are gone.
Yeah.
Ain't chasing the rabbit anymore.
No, we got a good Wisconsinite here to kind of give us where we need them. Mm-hmm. Give us what we need when we need them.
And there you go. Uh-oh. Not good.
The question is, where is it going to go? Okay. Looking at where he puts this.
Can you make the side on that or not?
I don't know if you can put the side in it.
It could follow on the side. Has to be maybe where I'd be going.
I say he's going to go try to stay center of the table for most of this.
Yeah.
But I don't know about that. Trying to get back to the 3 being center table, he's going to have to go somewhere on the end to get to it. It's kind of funny. Even when you watch it again. I know a couple people here just because they come into our store from time to time.
Sure.
And not that you have a rooting interest in anybody, but it's kind of interesting when you get to see people you played a couple of games against. These guys come in and we've got our test table, so we'll shoot a couple games and I'm not saying again that I'm cheering for one or another, but it's always kind of neat to say, yeah, I remember when he was in and we helped pick him out this stick or this.
Oh yeah.
But then you get to meet a lot of these people, and this is where it's fun.
Oh yeah.
But you know what? If folks local, don't forget to come out and try to find some of these tournaments. Stop by McDermott. Also, again, one of our local dealers.
Sure.
We've got a lot of people that can help you find what you want, what you need for your skill level. And
and I think that's probably one of the bigger things that at least people that I know, they start talking about, oh, we want to get a stick or we want to do that, and then it's budget time. But not knowing where to go or who to talk to, they immediately turn to somebody in their local venues to say, oh, what are you shooting with? Well, it may not be their style of shooting. They still, because they know somebody's good, they just go and ask the person about what they're using. May or may not be good information for their particular game. Mm-hmm. But to know that there are people sitting around that you can turn to get some advice, I think is a marvelous thing.
And again, you know what? Everybody is sometimes in their mind is a pro in their own mind. But you know what? There are enough people out there. There's enough educated people. Find your local dealer. Find your your local pro. We've got a number of players who stop by our shop who are league operators, mm-hmm. and they come and ask us a lot of questions. I've got so and so who wants XY, who wants to move up his game in the aspect of he wants to have a little bit more English, and it's like, okay, well, what does he play with now? They really like just a basic cue. They're not great players yet, but they want something that's really cool. Okay, what's really cool?
Yeah,
then?
really. Define.
I have some. Okay, let's find you a basic cue. Find them a basic cue and ask them what cool is. I have people who goes, I want a cue and I want it pink. And I'm like, really? Why? Well, because no one else in our league has pink, and that way I will know if that one disappears.
No, well, there's a logic to that.
Yes, I'm like, okay. I once had someone order a cue. The cue itself was yellow.
No, okay.
All right.
guy in our league used to shoot for us as a yellow
And,
kid.
and yellow's not bad in and of itself, but then he put a purple and white wrap on it. And I'm like, why? And we called and asked him, I said, are you sure?
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm like, okay. And he said, he goes, that way, no one will ever want to part way or walk away with my cue.
Yeah.
And if they do, I will know where it is. So yeah, again, customizing a cue has many different reasons.
Sure.
But what we try to find out here, again, not just us, but you find a lot from our dealers when they'll find what's best for you. And again, you also find the dealer that works best for you as well. And again, I say local dealers. There's a lot of people who may not have access to a local dealer. Obviously you have
Right.
Rhinelander, but if you go to Hudson, you go somewhere up in Superior, we don't necessarily have some. We have great online dealers as well. You can find some great deals, and you can find some great pros out there. And again, you find, and I'm going to forget a ton, but you're going to find Cyberts out there. Then you're going to find Ozone. You're going to find Billiards.com, Billiard Warehouse. We have a lot of Amazon dealers.
Okay. Yeah.
And we have a lot of eBay dealers. And you know what? They're all and a lot of these people, they'll take calls. They'll take the questions.
Siebert's is good for that. I've called him a couple of times I've got a lathe at home. I do shaft refinishing and tip stuff. And one of my customers had some questions, and we especially had to do with glue.
Oh, sure.
On some of the brake tips.
Oh, yeah,
and
some
stuff
of the
like that.
adhesive is
Very particular to tips, which would be another whole conversation.
Oh, yes.
Tips nowadays. Good God.
Well,
how many are there?
Well, you look at, I'm sorry to jump in on this one. McDermott, we now have switched over to Navigator for most of our tips. And the reason behind that is we've tried them out. It was, one, availability. It was, we were able to get these in a very good product, and also allowed us to do a lot of different things with 3 different types of tips, 3 different types of playing tips.
Yep.
The Navigator Blacks, which are a more softer, very soft feel.
Jason Kamui type.
Similar in that aspect, but it gave people a lot of spin, but also a very soft feel. Those will, you got to shape them a little more often, but they're made to adhere to that ball to give it as much spin as possible. Then you can go to the Navigator Alphas, which are a little bit more of your standard tip, a little bit firmer. Okay, and all these have soft or extra soft, super soft, medium, and hard. So even within these lines, there's different hardness of it. And your alphas are a lot with your everyday tip. Now the Navigator Blacks come standard on our G series cues,
right.
or probably G core model cues. And then on the eye shafts, the eye 1, 2, and 3, or probably eye 2 and 3, those come with the Navigator Blue Impact. Now that's a little bit new and a little bit different, and those have 13 layers to the 15 layers to the traditional 10. And the reason how they do that is they shave them actually thinner. And the reason they do that is it gives you a little bit more crisp feel, more layers. It doesn't deform nearly as much. It is going to give you a little crisper feel. Okay.
So it's a little hard. It's a little on the harder side.
As far as feeling, yeah. But what it does is it's still a layered tip. It's going to give you a lot of that grip.
Okay.
So again, giving you that harder feel. Someone who's been used to a La Pro or some of the traditional hard press tips.
Sure.
When they've gone those, they've really liked those. You see that on our I 2 and 3. The reason behind that is it's a little bit stiffer shaft. And on the I Pros, we went with the Navigator Alphas and the Navigator Alpha Mediums. And everybody's like, well, why would you put a medium cue? Why wouldn't you put a soft or a super soft on that I Pro? Well, the cue is designed to give you more English. So, but if you want to move to a different one, you can. If you're staying within the same family, like we don't charge you to change tips as long as you're within the same family of tip. But if you go to a different family of tip, then there's an upcharge. Just like in anything, to get what you want, there might be a little bit to it. Sometimes those costs are very, very minimal.
All right.
And again, kind of goes back to we want to make cues that feel right for you.
Sure.
And we going back to our dealers, if someone has a question, many of our dealers have sent things back to us saying, hey, I want to do this, or you know what, I've got an old D series they want an I shaft or a G core to directly match up. They'll send it to us. We'll match up ring work. We'll make it look and feel as if it belonged, but it's a newer,
New technology.
the new generation of shafts, and give them that little bit more precise playability that maybe that they'd like to have, but they thought, well, I have an old cue. It's an old shaft or it's an old butt. You can do it if you want it. We can do it. The question is, it just becomes, what do you want?
I had a good question, and I got a brain fart.
I guess I caused that on a few people tonight.
I'm multitasking here, getting too old. And putting a newer shaft on an older butt. Do you measure? I assume you would too. I'll never assume anything, but assume that you'd have the complete cue stick, measure its weights and balance points, and then say new shaft, match that. How would that be?
Good question. For some people, they just want the new shaft to react to make the reaction how they expect or that they want. Now, as far as balancing, we can different cues, older cues, we may be able to balance with weights. Some we may have to. Some we may have to change the weight system, because some of those old weight systems they've been out of production for quite a while.
Okay.
But it is possible, because the newer shafts are going to be a little bit lighter, but really more so is what is how it's going to work. The big thing when people ask us for new shafts, and this is for all you out there that you get McDermott or even a lot of the custom cues, is because they're hand finished, and we're not talking about the metal collars, but because the joint is hand finished, a lot of people just sometimes will expect, are all cues the same? Are all the joints the same? With, again, being hand finished, there's some tolerances. You're talking thousandths, an inch. And also over time, the facing, the joint and the shaft and the butt the shaft and the butt facing on the joint will wear a little bit. Now, that wears evenly normally, and that is always straight when you screw it together. However, over time, they wear away, and if you get a new shaft, it might not be exactly even. So, if at all possible, we ask people to send the butt in when we're going to make them a new shaft, and when they get it, they'll notice that the joint will be perfectly flush. Yep. Not only where it faces together, but also the diameter on the outside. Otherwise, we ask people, if possible, to send us an outer diameter. Yeah. Again, to make it, but if you can send it to us, you're going to get it back in an amazing match. And actually, you and I, or myself and Brian, were talking about something, and Rob. We have a number of people who find these older cues. You had mentioned your D series, and they had it from their father. They had it from their grandfather. They found one on eBay. They traded for something. One of the things that is possible, you can send those to us, and we can refurbish those for you. We can get those to you and come back with, it looks like a completely new cue, but it's still one of the originals.
Sure.
Okay. And it's not as much as you think. It doesn't. If you have one of those D series, it would cost you probably less than a new cue to have that reconditioned, and you'll get it back in almost the exact same condition. There's some threading we don't have anymore. Some of the old nylon threading, we've gone to the linen. Yeah. But again, you get that back, and it's a perfectly new cue. So if you ever want to talk to one of your dealers or give us a call about some of the refurbishing specials, so not only will it get refurbished, you can actually get a new shaft matched up with that, or whether it be a traditional maple, so you can have it pretty much original, or you can go up to your G-Core I shaft, I Pro. And I've actually had some people who have actually gotten brake shafts made with them, just so they can use an old cue, because they've got a new cue they like playing with, but they've got Grandpa's cue, and they still want to use it. Oh yeah. So they make a brake cue out of it.
Makes sense. We had a guy that did that, played with us. Had an old, I don't even know what the heck kind it was. It was, price point somewhere. And same thing. He did just that. Put a big, fat, thick shaft on it, and somehow
Very
he
hard
did
tip
it.
and-
Yeah, put an old something on it and used it for a brake stick. Wouldn't give it up for the world.
It'd be kind of interesting where he's going to put this one ball. Is he going to try to put it down there and just safe it out, or is he going to just try to move the cue ball down there to safe it out?
Off to the next match. Larry Neville swinging by.
You have to call him Speed Racer the way he's been moving in that on his wheels there today.
Yeah. Gonna grease it, I think.
Yep. Wild cue ball running across the floor here, folks.
Yep.
Free range cue ball.
Yeah, exactly. That happens time to time. Oh, that was a jumper. Went bad.
Talking to him before, I don't know if it ever went good. we joked about the jumping before.
I made one the other day. We were playing. I made one. I was up about where the two ball is on that other table.
Yep.
You guys on the stream can't hear this. See this one, and the whatever my object hit ball was down first time and on the rail, and I had two balls in between. I gave her a jump, and I made her. I said, I'm taking my sticks home.
I said,
I'm going home a winner.
Done.
Yep. Going home a winner.
Oh boy.
Could have nudged it. I first had a Tuesday BCA leagues that happened last week, and leadoff player runs the table. I said, you can go home now, buddy. You're done for the year.
Again, going back to how fun it is to play. You can have those nights where, you know what, you walk in like, okay, it's time to play league, and all of a sudden your first match doesn't go great, or even just your first game. The next rack comes up, you break and run, it's like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm finally ready.
Yep.
Or you can have the typical of mine, and you break and you scratch.
I come up dry. My break game needs so much work.
And then as soon as you're done with that,
I'll leave them all over the table too. Maybe one pair, and then I'll come up dry.
Oh no, brought it back a little too far.
Corner hook. No, he's free. He's good.
But he's
good.
You have those nights where all of a sudden you start out, and all of a sudden you have a great evening, and all of a sudden there's the other ones where you have the night of your life, everything's going good, you're about ready to win that, and all of a sudden you get to that last rack and you're like, I have no shot. that person makes a ball, and then you go, now I have no shot again, and you literally can run everything, and then it's over.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, you guys members of Hall of Fame?
Look, these
Are you guys members?
Members of what?
Hall of Fame. Here Hall of Fame. Come on, $10 a person. $10 a person.
I'm done.
I don't know.
I'm done.
No?
Everybody's selling stuff already.
No, I'm serious.
No?
Yeah, I know everybody's selling. Nobody's buying.
Yep. We're weird like that.
Yeah.
Do you have a second? I got somebody over there asking.
Why don't we cancel off and get yourself back here again at your leisure?
It looks like I got a few people who have some questions. So
there you go.
I'm going to step up. I really appreciate the time.
No problem, man. Anytime. If we're around and we're here, stop by.
You know what? Just to let everybody know, McDermott really appreciates people putting on events like this with Brian. And you know what? We're glad that they can put Jim's name on this, and this has been a fun day. Thanks again.
I agree. Anytime. Keep between the lines.
Today, keep it on the table.
Yeah, there you go. Anyway, who won that one? I missed it.
I missed one too.
Okay. Ryan did.
Ryan. You won that last one?
Dave Redland, Nick Karachi, table 6.
Yeah, well, yes, no, that one. I gotta stand now. I need a Mountain Dew. I gotta get soda.
Switch to the 2. When you walk away, you should go to camera. It's another
Jay Johnson, Sally Steinbeck, table 7. Mario Madrid, Ryan Hoffman, table 3.
No winner yet? The last, if the other guy wins, this is it. There's your next match.
Oh, okay. Keep an eye on this.
I told Brian to come back at his leisure for the next one.
Are you taking over?
You're not doing it. him. Yeah,
Next match coming up is be a pretty good one.
yeah, no.
He should be. Looks like I'm $5.58. It was over here. It was right here in front of me.
So his race is the what?
Oh, they don't have a race on there either? It'll be an even race, 5-5.